Hey everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Thursday edition of Today in Sports Betting. As always, I'm joined by the one, the only. He is Scott Reichel. Scott, ready to talk a little NBA?
Yeah, I know that yesterday was a pretty interesting card. If you followed the injury news for a couple of teams, you might have gotten burned yesterday, which I find always interesting. I know people always talk about how when a couple of guys are out, the other guys step up and how people might overvalue the actual team that they're backing solely because of injury news. But I don't really know if there was a more disappointing showing yesterday than what Memphis did in the late game. Phoenix won the game anyway against Philly, and Philly was missing some guys, but Embiid ended up playing, so that wasn't a full tank job by Philly, so that game was still close. I have no idea how Memphis can try to win a division when you're basically one game behind Dallas, and you've been playing some pretty good ball lately. Dylan Brooks is still healthy because he missed the last game. Jaren Jackson's back in the lineup. The Clippers benched basically four of their starters. You had no Kawhi, no Paul George, no Reggie Jackson, no Rondo. And the Grizzlies are up like 15 after the first quarter.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, Clippers are also on a back-to-back after playing Portland, and Memphis is not. And then Memphis goes from like up 15 after one to losing by double digits on the road. You get up a 27-point swing to the Clippers D squad. Like, they didn't have a point guard. They're using Terrence Mann as their point guard. I don't know what
Terrence Mann from Field of Dreams?
I'm just saying. James Earl Jones, great actor. But still, I'm not saying that a lot of people had that, but I feel like it definitely snowballed later on towards the minutes leading up to the game once all the injury news was finalized. Was that one of the most disappointing showings you've seen from a team? Because I don't really know how you can really fall that short after such a solid first quarter against a D squad and just completely roll over.
Apparently, Ty Lue is a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Made a lot of great adjustments. I don't know. And he had to do something.
Truth is, I slept through the entire game. But
congratulations.
Thank you. Probably a good thing, but I just don't really know how to look at the injury reports. You can make an argument saying, well, that's why
you're up at 5 in the morning when I text you.
Like, correct. That's why it's like, maybe that's why you don't only follow injury news and you pay whatever. But in the Clippers on a back-to-back, though, like actually just decided we're going to bench like four of our main players. And Memphis was just like, all right, you're still better than us, so have fun. Just a bizarre showing by Memphis yesterday.
By the way, about 4 minutes in, if you want to mark the time when the rant was ended, and then we started talking about basketball.
It was definitely not 4 minutes, but whatever makes you feel better. It was like 2.
Well, much like the injury news, you've undervalued. Oh man, okay.
I feel like I had to say that because I think we both agree that Memphis probably should have put something better together yesterday.
They should have had a better effort than that, but
yeah. Anyway, that's the only point I was going to make.
You know who else should have had a better effort? Chris Paul.
I was going to say at the foul line, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul at the foul line just brutalized us. We had on our radio show. You guys know this. We take one pick every day. We do a bet the farm, and today our pick was the Phoenix Suns minus 3.5 points. A game that looked like they would easily cover within the last minute, but.
Well, Korkmaz hit that leaning three.
Philly couldn't miss their last three 3-pointers. Mm-hmm. Embiid hurt us.
Korkmaz was not.
You know when I knew we were screwed, Scott? When they called back the 3-pointer and made it a 2-pointer.
Yeah, that's fair.
With about 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left, I went, yeah, there's that point. We're going to need that point.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And we did. If you didn't see it, Philly is up 3. No, they're up 2. Excuse me, they're up 2.
I mean, Phoenix is up 2.
Phoenix is up 2. Sorry, and they get the ball. They get immediately fouled with half a second.
0.8 on the clock. He makes both. It's over.
Yeah, thanks. If he makes, I tell the story my way.
I'm saying it was 0.8 seconds left. I'm adding the time component.
Okay, I said a half a second, so
0.8.
I'm way off.
Okay.
So yes, he goes to the foul line, gets the first one, clangs it, but still gets it to roll in. And usually when you see these guys hit iron on the first one, they make a slight adjustment. Nothing but net on the second one. Always. No. Chris Paul clang off the front of the rim. Not even close to crawling over.
Embiid fired an absolute pellet towards the other's backboard. And
if you saw Sports Center, or if you're on the ESPN website, I promise you saw that shot. It was hits the backboard, it swirls around the rim, and it's Scott. Do you get more full court than that? He's standing in the paint, well on the other side of the foul line, and just football throws it down there, basically.
Well, he might be lucky that it missed because he didn't call backboard. So according to playground rules, it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Good times was that game. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on, Scott. Let's move on. We both have our complaints about that card. So it's a fresh day. It's a fresh start. As always, we start with a couple of TV games. And this one, hey, it's our old pals, the 76ers. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm. They're taking on one of our favorite teams as well.
Going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. We always like to give Scott a chance to weigh in on Chris Middleton. Mm-hmm. And the Bucks are favored by 6 here. 6, Scott.
I'm not really surprised by that.
You're not surprised by that?
I think Embiid's not going to play, so no.
What do you base this on?
Well, considering the fact that Embiid was added to the injury report middle of the afternoon yesterday because of some potential rest involving his knee, it's also why we also jumped in on Phoenix, because we thought that Embiid would had a chance of not playing, would be a huge line move. But Simmons and Harris have missed the last couple of games. They're dealing with an illness as well. Meanwhile, Embiid, I thought he was either going to play in the Phoenix game or the Milwaukee game. I thought they'd play him against Milwaukee to try to maintain their current seeding, try to fend off one of the teams trying to catch them. But what you have seen from some teams is that if there is a potential matchup against a future team they're going to face off in the playoffs, they don't really like to show their full hand. And I think that if Embiid had a chance to be held out with a knee issue today, and he played anyway, I think Philly just decided we'd rather play him against Phoenix and rest him against a team we might face in the playoffs. So I don't think Embiid's going to play. But that, once again, is just solely based on the fact that he was even questionable for this game for rest. Played a bunch of minutes yesterday. Played well, of course, because he's Embiid. But I just think he's not going to play in this game.
Okay, and just to be clear,
pure hunch.
Is a pure hunch, because right now there's 3 people on the Philadelphia injury report. None of them are Joel Embiid. They are same guys that sat out, like Scott said. Ben Simmons is sick. Tobias Harris has a bad knee. Seth Curry has a bad hip. Those guys are all questionable for the game. I think they all play. I think Embiid plays. I think they want to win this game.
My bold call is those 3 guys play, Embiid does not play. But once again, it's the NBA, so we can make up any type of stance on the injury report. And there's always a chance we might be right.
Giannis is actually on the list. He's probable with cramps.
Okay. Well, probable is definitely a step in the right direction compared to the last month and a half.
Apparently he's in the process of walking it off right now, or perhaps rubbing a little dirt on it.
Yeah, whatever.
So are you going to take the Bucks to cover there?
Oh, I still don't want. I don't like this Bucks team, but I really don't think Embiid's going to play. So I think I kind of have to. Okay. I like Milwaukee first half. I think it's a good spot where Philadelphia, off of a close game, who might be shorthanded anyway. I don't think that everybody Philly has going to play, but Milwaukee has been.
Everyone plays. Moses Malone plays. Dr. J. Everyone plays.
Give me Barkley, and I'll consider taking Philly. But if you're looking at Milwaukee, this team has still been solid at home, which has kind of been their forte for the last couple of years. Philadelphia has been pretty good on the road, 17-12, but of course they're a lot better at home. But I just don't think anyone's going to guard Giannis, because I don't think Embiid's going to play. And they played once already this season. Milwaukee did win that game in overtime by 4, but of course Embiid did not play in that game, so you can't really factor that in. You can kind of throw that game out the window. But it's mostly just based on the fact that I think Embiid's not going to play, so I think Giannis is going to have a huge game.
Okay, very good. So if you're interested in backing Scott's hunch, you should absolutely lay the 6 points with the Milwaukee Bucks.
In our defense, when we're doing overnight basketball games, every single guest that we have with injury reports is a hunch. We're basically blind out there. But
reading the tea leaves. Reading the tea leaves is what we're doing.
If you check the injury report at 1 p.m., you're going to see a lot of gray, because everybody's a game time decision. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for me, it's a Milwaukee team that hasn't been great at home. They're just 13-15 against the number at home. They're 11-15 against winning teams.
They also have lost 2 in a row, and I mentioned how Milwaukee is either a team that loses 4 in a row or wins 6 in a row. And there's really no middle ground between them.
Well, good. Then it's easy, because they're going to lose 2 more.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go. All right. So With that being said, let's move on to the late game, shall we, Scott?
Yep.
I know this is another one that you're super excited about.
Definitely. Born ready.
It's the Lakers and the Mavericks, my friend.
It's the Anthony Davis-led Lakers against the Dallas Mavericks.
That's right. Anthony Davis should be back. He's all the way up to questionable, and almost always when they're coming off the list, questionable means they're good to go.
What do you think that means? 25 minutes?
25 minutes for Anthony Davis. Yes, that's exactly what I believe.
Cool.
Everybody else is going to most likely play. Dudley's out, of course, but he's been out for a minute.
Now, don't you kind of have to play Dallas because they're on fire? They beat Detroit yesterday. I mean, they figured it out. They beat Detroit. I mean, come on.
Didn't cover.
No, they did not cover, because why would anybody want to lay 12.5 with Dallas against anybody at this point in the season? But this Dallas team, of course I'm being sarcastic. This team has not played well at all for like the last couple of weeks there. And the Lakers, even before AD came back, I know this team wasn't very good in terms of talent. The team still plays elite defense with or without Davis.
Drink.
That Dallas can't even imagine actually doing, whether or not they have Porzingis on the court or not. Dallas defensively is so underwhelming so frequently, and then occasionally they'll have one good defensive game like every 2 weeks, and people are thinking to themselves, maybe they figured it out. Nope, we're going to give up like 117 to Detroit. But based on the line here, do you like the Lakers here? Because I'm kind of leaning that way. It's really
what's the number? We haven't told the folks the number.
Oh, sorry. So the number in this one, according to FanDuel, is Dallas -2. I think you can make an argument it's a coin flip, but I just really don't like this Dallas team. And I know that we both kind of feel the same way about this Dallas team.
They've just let me down too many times.
I feel like that's half the teams in the NBA.
Yeah,
you keep taking the Celtics. You keep finding a way.
Well, the Celtics. I 1-0 on my last one games with the Celtics. So.
And I think you called Denver a great long shot value on the radio show today to win the title, and I'm pretty sure you despise Denver with everything that you possess.
Not a fan. Not a fan. No.
So you still find a way in your heart to get hurt one more time by half of these teams.
All right, honey, I'm giving you one more chance.
What do you think? I'm just going with the Lakers, but that's also because Dallas on a back-to-back. I do think that if Davis plays 20-plus minutes, A, he'll play well just defensively alone, and B, I got to think it provides a spark for the Lakers, don't you think?
Yeah. So, and Schroeder's healthy, so yeah, I'm in. I'll take him with the 2 points. That's fine.
I agree. It's one of those games, once again, that it's just going to be – you can probably tell early on, depending on what Dallas team is going to show up, but gambling on which Dallas team is going to show up is never really a fun time. So I know the Lakers, even though they've not really been that talented lately with all the injuries, at least they're consistent. They're going to give you full effort on the defensive end for 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Dallas might give you, 4 minutes of defensive effort?
They play elite defense for 3 minutes in the second quarter, and that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, this is this Dallas team. They're kind of like a Denver light.
That's really fair.
They have the capability of playing really good basketball. They've got a couple of very talented guys.
But unless their star player puts up some huge numbers, you just assume the supporting cast is kind of useless.
That's generally the case. And Dallas has really struggled against the Pacific Division. They're just 2-8 against the number against the boys from the Pacific. So. It hasn't gone well for the Mavs in the past. I was curious. I wanted to see. I'm going to have to do this sometime. We're not live on the air. I kind of wanted to see what the Lakers have done since LeBron's been out.
They've been, I believe, around 500.
And that's just looking at the games without sitting and counting them up. It looks fairly 500-ish.
But they've also had a brutal schedule, so I'll give them a lot of props for actually kind of hanging around. Just without LeBron there. It wasn't like they had a cupcake schedule by any means.
Hanging around alligator blood.
Yep.
Yep. I got to think of the Lakers there. We don't have a total. Yeah.
I feel like I'm obligated to lean under with the Lakers.
214?
If I had to guess it, I think it might be a little bit higher because I think AD might provide a little bit of a punch to the Lakers.
That could be. Okay.
In the minds of people. I'll go 217.5.
Okay. You like the under there?
I think you kind of have to because we both think Davis isn't even going to play that much. So.
No. Although Gasol's questionable.
Ooh, Gasol. And that helps defensively. Offensively, Gasol's kind of cooked. But
I understand. Yeah. It's all right. Anything else? Anything else grab your attention here today? You want to weigh in on the Suns and Celtics?
Well, I feel like we kind of have to talk about that game because it does have some playoff implications. But Celtics are getting 6.5 at home. Of course, you don't know who's going to play. Tatum was awful in the last game. He had a triple-double, but he was, I believe, 3 for 16. But he also had a little bit of an ankle issue leading up to the game. So keep that in mind. Jaylen Brown ended up playing in the last game, but Kemba and Marcus Smart were both out because of illness. Not sure both of them are going to play. It's not COVID-related, though, so there's no protocol or anything. It just matters if they're going to be fully recovered. Meanwhile, Phoenix did beat Philadelphia yesterday. Didn't cover. But looking at the Suns, I don't really want to lay 6.5 with the Suns on the road with travel involved. We both know that Phoenix is one of those teams that is pretty good against the number, but they always seem to have very close games. And I don't really think that they should be laying 6.5 against Boston in Boston. Do I think Phoenix is going to win? I think they should, but 6.5, doesn't that sound like a little bit high to you? And this one should be around 4.
Yes, that's exactly where I think that number should be.
So I'd lean Celtics on principle, but as we both know, we both don't like the Celtics.
Right, because again, you've got the questionable situation with the injury. So that was really the only other game.
Yeah,
Scott, I will give you a tip of the cap. I've roasted you for the Philadelphia Sixers pick, but I will give you a tip of the cap for getting on Oklahoma City last night plus the 10 points. They ended up losing by 6. I didn't see how that one broke down. Were they in it? Did they have a shot to win? Did they pee it away late, or what happened?
I believe they were down 5 with like 6 minutes to go. So I can't say that they were on the verge of pulling off a huge upset, but they were hanging around there for about, I don't know, 3.
The whole game?
Yeah, basically.
They were within striking distance.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You look at Indiana, you got no Turner, no Sabonis. I don't know why they're laying 10 against anybody.
I understand. No, I get it. All right, well, there you go, kids. Kind of a short NBA card for tonight. So, yeah, that's the game where we got something worked out. If you guys have any plays that you're on, put them in the comment section. Let us know what you got cooked up in the NBA here for today. As always, if you're looking for information, second opinion on any of these games, make sure you stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com, the #1 site in the world for predictive sports analysis. Each day, they entertain people from over 150 countries who stop by to check on the action before making their bet. So make sure you stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com, we appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck on all of your plays today. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting.